Hi guys, welcome back to our channel Bunny Recaps. Today we are going to see a 2020 released horror film called Boot. The plot of this film, a ship that was lost 12 years ago, washes ashore on a beach. The hero and his crew was assigned the task of removing that ship docked on the shore. In doing so, he comes across many buried facts and mysteries surrounding the ship and finds that the ship is haunted. Whether he and his team can come out of the ship alive or not follows the rest of the story. The film opens on a ship where the crew members are celebrating the birthday party of the captain's 3-year-old daughter Mia. While her parents and the crew were dancing and enjoying the party, Mia is seen sitting alone with her toy. At that time she was drawn by a snapping sound that drew her into the corridor inside the ship. There she is tossed in the air up and down repeatedly. Her doll slipped. The little girl went to pick it up, but she was dragged into the compartment by an invisible force. She cries and screams in fear. Music from the doll plays on. The scene cuts to the title revelation. Years later, the protagonist of the film, Jackson, who is a shipping officer, is shown living alone. A snippet of his past is shown. He had married his wife by eloping and was living his life happily. They even had a daughter named Megan. He lost both his daughter and wife in an accident. Since then he is distraught and living a sad, miserable life, driven by survivor guilt. Jackson is at work, checking the containers in the yard where he finds girls and children trafficked. He helps them by fighting the crew members who are responsible for the illegal activity. The news of it reaches the media. Jackson is celebrated for his bravery. He feels happy about it too. Ryan, his only friend who is also working in the same office, on that night, a boy witnesses a massive bereaved ship coming offshore. The news of it has been telecasted widely. It is found to be a long-lost ship named Seabird, and how it reached the shore or what happened to the crew is unknown, and it is rumored to be haunted. Jackson is assigned the task of removing it from the shore. He visits the ship along with his boss and Ryan, where an enormous crowd was gathered to watch the mysterious ship. The following night, a mischievous young couple went into the ship to have some fun. The ship is seen dilapidated and in an entirely worn-off state. They play hide and seek there. The girl hides inside a compartment. The boy is searching for her. She drops the phone accidentally, and when she goes down to pick it up, a ghost-like figure is shown standing behind her, with disheveled hair and blood-cold face. When he opens a door he finds the girl dragged inside the compartment with great force by the ghostly figure. She screams her lungs out. The boy is trying to reach her. Within a second, the ghost twisted his head towards the rear side. The scene cuts there. Next morning, Jackson and the crew are working to remove the ship from the shore. He checks inside the ship. He is startled by the sudden playing of music. When he looks down, he learns that it was coming from the doll. He walks past it. While he is checking the compartments of the ship, a ghostly figure, probably of a girl's, is seen moving fast on the top of the wall, with its legs and hands backwards. When he turned back, it disappeared from view. The torchlight falls to the ground. He leans to pick it up, then he notices the toy that he had seen outside, under the table. He is amused at seeing the doll again and tries to take it with the help of a stick. When he takes a look again, the doll is not there. The music plays on. He slowly turns back and finds the doll lying on the ground behind him. He left the place in confusion and discuss it with his friend Ryan. On that night, Jackson is in his home, trying to get asleep. He is looking at the pictures of his family. He remembers the incident where he lost his family. Suddenly a picture hanging on the wall falls to the floor and breaks. Then he finds the doll that he had seen on the ship in his home, staring at him. Jackson got scared and jumps out of his bed. The next morning, he again checks inside the ship. He finds some documents and a camera. Then a door opens by itself. He finds the compartment maintained neatly as if someone is using it at present. He takes a picture of the room. Suddenly he finds an appearance of a man sitting on the couch. He gets shocked. He rushes out of the ship. Suddenly the man, who he has seen inside, is running towards him and jumps down the balcony. When Jackson looks down, he finds nothing down there. The man appears again and scares him. He got his leg injured. After reaching home, when he looks at the pictures, he finds the compartment worn out, like the other parts of the ship. Jackson plays the video from the camera that he had found on the ship. It shows the mother of the child shooting smuggling activities carried out on the ship, starting from drugs to gold. She also had recorded her husband beating her after getting drunk. Ryan and his wife are worried about Jackson, so they take him to a psychiatrist who is researching on afterlife. But Jackson doesn't want to miss his family, so he is fine with hallucinating about them and refused help of the psychiatrist. The next morning, two walkers find the dead body of the girl in a devastated state who was killed on the ship previously. A salvage operation is going on to remove Seabird from the shore. But the tow ship isn't able to pull the Seabird. Jackson finds a crew member drowning in the sea. He jumps into the sea at once without any proper life support to save that man. At that time he sees a girl through a hole in the ship. Suddenly someone came to their rescue. Jackson falls unconscious. Later he learns that there is no such girl other than a man drowning. On that night, Jackson had a dream. The incident of how he lost his family is shown. He had planned for a river rafting. But then unfortunately, a storm breaks out in that the boat fell upside down and Jackson was trapped in a creeper tree. He tries to hold his daughter. But due to the strong force of the current, he can't keep hold of her for long. Finally she was washed away. Jackson can't do anything other than seeing his daughter gushing away in the stream. Suddenly Jackson wakes from sleep and realized it as a dream. He is frustrated and constantly reminded of the girl he had seen on the ship. He went to the ship and checks all the locked compartments by breaking the locks. He shouts to say if there is anyone inside. Then he breaks the door and finds a cargo room. He steps down the ladder, but it slips and Jackson is hanging on the porch. He sees the doll staring at him. Suddenly the girl crawls over the ceiling and scares him. He falls to the ground and fell unconscious. After some time, he gains consciousness. He is desperate to find a way out of the ship. But he is blocked in every other way. He finds the decomposed body of the boy who had been killed by the ghost. He springs out of that room and reaches the main deck and shouts out for help. The doll appears before him. When he takes a look at the side, he finds the ghost walking toward him. The equipment's kept their dangles in the air. It blurts out a loud shouting. And were swirled toward Jackson. The ghost is running towards him. Thankfully, Ryan reaches by time and opens the door. He looks at the ghost, grabs Jackson, and drags him out of the ship. They both jump into the sea to escape from there. Ryan is so very frightened. Jackson plays the video from the recorder he had found on the ship. The birthday celebration video plays, and then the crew members are seen committing suicide by jumping off the rail on the deck. Then a man of middle age is smiling at the camera is shown. Jackson gets startled and takes it to meet the professor. Jackson deducts that the little girl in the video must be the one they had seen on the ship. Ryan opposed that it is impossible as the girl looked nothing like a normal living human being. The professor reiterates that indeed it must be Mia, but she could have been possessed. He asks them to find the history of the ship in order to free Mia from the spirit. Jackson is mad at finding the truth thereby to save the girl and is working round the clock. Jackson is living in the guilt of losing his family to his recklessness. He tries to amend his past by saving the girl who is trapped in the ship. The scene cuts to the ship where the girl is shown playing with the puddle. A fish is thrown her side and loud groan is heard. The girl picked the fish and gobbled it. Jackson gets information about the crew. Along with the professor he went to meet the family of Lisa, who is the mother of Mia. They learn that she is still alive. They inform that Mia is alive and trapped on the ship. They convince her to help them. She recounts her past. She tells about the smuggling activities carried out by her husband, who was the captain of the ship once. Whoever raised a finger against him would be killed and thrown into the sea. He was an alcoholic and a wife-beater. His torturous behavior was unbearable for Lisa, and so she planned to commit suicide. But she was saved by a worker whose name is Adam. He was kind to her. They develop an affair and vows to expose the captain's scam. Adam was caught by one of the workers while he is recording the secret room. He was held captive and beaten to death. Lisa conceived his child. But the captain doesn't know it. The professor deducts that it must be Adam's spirit that is haunting the ship. Mia is his blood and thus he doesn't kill her like the other members of the crew. Jackson takes Lisa to the beach to show them the way to the secret room. She was asked to wait outside as she is the sole survivor from the crew, so he fears for her safety. He handovers a walkie-talkie to guide them with the way. Jackson, Ryan, and the professor enter the ship with Diesel to burn Adam's remains to free Mia from his spirit. Jackson steps down the ladder. Suddenly he is knocked down by an invisible force. Parallelly Ryan is locked outside the engine room. Due to this, Jackson and the professor are left without a fuel supply. Suddenly, Ryan remembers the oil stock in the ship so he pulls the lever and the diesel spills all over the ship. With that Jackson would set fire. Ryan witnesses the possessed Mia screaming a loud cry and crawling up on the wall. Meanwhile, Lisa sees the image of her 3-year-old daughter and runs inside the ship. She tries to open the room. Then a shutter opens. Jackson and the professor entered the secret room. Mia appears with her threatening appearance and attacked them. Suddenly Mia was drawn away by her mother's singing. On seeing Lisa there, Jackson warns her to leave the ship at once. When he grabbed her hand to take her out, he gets an illusion of her dark secret. It is shown that it is Lisa who killed Adam for fear of getting caught when he was tortured by the captain and the crew. Just then, Adam's spirit appears before them. His face twists in anger. He throws Jackson toward the wall. Then he approaches her and slits her throat. Lisa chokes and dies instantly. Jackson found the skeleton of Adam hanging down the ceiling. He runs to fire it. Adam grabs his neck, making him to suffocate. The professor chants a mantra to control Adam. He is overpowered by Adam. Jackson grabs the hammer and strikes it against the iron, thereby breaking the fire. The fire catches all over the ship, and the remains of Adam is being burned. Then Adam's spirit leaves gradually. Jackson leaps over the chain and escapes from the room. He takes Mia, who is now pure from Adam's influence. He comes out of the ship through the hole he had seen Mia earlier. The story moves after a few days. Jackson adopts Mia and is living a peaceful, contented life, teaching her the ways of the world. She got a father that she never had, and Jackson's yearning for a family is satisfied by having Mia. The story ends there. The movie reflects that one thing which is more deadly than death is losing our loved ones. Make sure to follow safety measures and enjoy life. Thanks for subscribing to us. We have planned to upload more interesting world-class movies with unique stories. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and share your priceless comments. It will help us to reach other movie lovers. And do subscribe and join our family for more upcoming videos. Thanks for watching.